Staring at a blank sheet of paper can be quite intimidating, and you might endure a great deal of resistance when you try to sit down and draw as a result. You're unable to come up with any good ideas, and you just can't seem to lay down that first stroke. You just sit there asking yourself, what should I draw? This situation is all too familiar for every artist. We have all been there at some point for one reason or another, whether it be art block or burnout. Fortunately, it's not that hard to overcome. The first thing you're going to do is get a pen and a notepad or a diary. This is going to be your idea/inspiration art journal. Once you've done that, make a list of 10 to 15 things that you find interesting that you'd like to draw. Initially, it might not comprise of a lot of original ideas, and that's fine. It could be characters from your favorite game or anime. The content doesn't really matter, as long as you find it enjoyable. Pause the video right now if you have to, and write it down. I can wait. All done? Alright then, let's proceed. What you are going to do is draw something from the list that you've made when you sit down for your next drawing session. And try to do this every day, because we are trying to build a habit here. Do this till you come close to exhausting that list, then repeat the process. Write down another 10 to 15 things. This time you might even have some ideas of your own. As you keep repeating this process, you'll have a higher ratio of your own ideas. You are going to commit yourself to updating this list at regular intervals. From personal experience, ideas come in waves, so it is always good to have something to record them in. Eventually, you'll come to a point where you have plenty of ideas from which to draw from, and whenever you feel creatively uninspired, you'll have this to fall back on. Here are a few tips to help you hit the ground running. Tip number 1. Make sure that before you sit down to draw for that day, you have all your reference material at hand. Tip number 2. Make sure to plan out your session in advance. Define a goal and give yourself a reasonable time constraint appropriate to your skill level. You need to know exactly what you are going to do every session. Don't fly into it blind, that's when problems arise. Tip number 3. If you ever feel like you don't have the motivation to see a practice session through, listen to some music, it really helps. Tip number 4. Don't be too hard on yourself. It's not possible to perform at 100% every single time. You have good days and bad ones. Some days might not go your way, and that's fine. Just see the session through. Once you've gone through the process a couple of times, you'd have overcome the fear of staring at that blank white sheet, and that challenge you once faced will all be a distant memory.